Good to know you're still with us. It's been a month since generals deposed Niger Republic's elected president, and despite ECOWAS' stern stance at the start, the political crisis hasn't been resolved. The coup there is the fourth in the country's history, and is just the latest in a string of coups that have taken place in recent years across Africa. These coups are seen as a huge setback in a region that over the last decade had made strides to shed its reputation as a coup belt, only for persistent insecurity and corruption, experts say, opened the door to military leaders. ECOWAS, like the rest of the international community, had condemned power grab, with varying sanctions announced shortly after. But this has not dissuaded ambitious soldiers from attempting to or taking over government. On one slot, we've at various times talked about the threats coup present to the continent's pursuit of democracy. You can find these on our YouTube channel. The arguments presented hinged on the fact that the worst civilian administration is far better than the best military regime. We continue today our attempt to meander a way forward for the continent that ushers in real democracy. I still have my guest, Mr. David Matsanga. He's a lawyer and conflict resolution expert. David, thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
Is this coup the last of its kind in Africa, or is it a resurgence that we must brace up for?
I don't want to be a man who brings bad news, but I want to tell you it is not the last. I want to be frank, it's not the last coup that we are going to have, especially in the French-speaking countries, because of the policies of assimilation, because of the bad management, corruption, the root causes bad elections. And it is not only the French-speaking countries, it is all over Africa. Across Africa today, elections have become a menace. Elections, when you hear of elections in Africa, you think of, the first thing you think about is how many people will be dying. So it is not, I don't want to lie to you and to your viewers and viewers across the whole world. I am a man who speaks my mind because I read that subject to the last iota on planet Earth. I have no regrets. It is not the first, and it is not going to be, it is not the last. There are many coming.
Quite unfortunate, but I mean, we still have to find a way to bring back democracy. Like they say, it's better than any military junta. So August 19, I think that was the UNTER General announced the period of national dialogue to lay the foundation of a new constitutional life. And he said this will happen in 3 years. This has been rejected by ECOWAS. And now we hear that the AU has suspended Niger, going by its constitution. ECOWAS is insisting that they will not accept a 3-year return to constitutional life. They're insisting on the return of the president. So basically, I'm asking, what does this do? Where does it leave us? What happens now?
Going in militarily is also overthrowing with military. You are just doing the same as what the generals did. We should encourage, first of all, two-pronged approach. A two-pronged approach of dialogue, talking to the soldiers. There is a mistake we are making here in the ECOWAS. I've already written to an email to the ECOWAS Secretary General. We are making a very terrible mistake as Africans. We are putting the president who was overthrown in trouble. Let's negotiate for his safety first. Let's have him in safety net somewhere else. Nobody is talking about that. This power in Niger is already grabbed. It has been grabbed, my sister. And having been a victim of a coup myself in 1985, when we were overthrown with my president, the late President Obote, we left that morning, I have never been able to go back to Uganda in a good way, but I've been there once to solve another problem. So a coup comes once, and once it comes, it is over. These people have taken, the army has taken the government, abrogated the constitution. Let's not think of handing back. Let's persuade them, like what General Abdulsalam is doing. Let's send more people there to talk to them and persuade them that, look, you are a landlocked country. Sanctions will kill our people. Why don't you strike a balance? First, release the president to go and he can stay wherever he stays, have freedom. But the way we are pressing for a military coup, for a military intervention, the more problems. We don't have a Rambo style. You have watched the films of Rambo. Rambo style of going down with helicopters and machines and then pick out. We are creating another Syria. And I want to tell you frankly, we are creating another Syria.
Let's hold off in that projection for a bit, because the idea of this conversation is to look at where we're missing and find where we can make headway. There are those rather who are saying that the coup leaders in Niger are brazen in their blatant disregard for ECOWAS authority, because ECOWAS said return constitutional rule, release the president. This they have not done, and they've even gone ahead to say 3 years. So it brings me to the question about the regional bodies authority, their response over the years. How has it impacted on the coup situation in Africa? And in this particular scenario, do you see ECOWAS re-establishing some sort of authority in this matter to bring about a reasonable compromise?
If you look at ECOWAS, how many interventions has it done and how many are successful? The 1989-90, you remember the one of intervention in Liberia, and there's another one. The ECOWAS has known very well that intervention at times, if not well calculated, can bring more disaster than any other, a situation that you were waiting for. The only place where ECO was successful with Senegal, when they entered Gambia, and with the help of so many other people forces, they chased out Yahya Jammeh, he went. That is a successful mission. Now here, in any military planner who wants to attack Niger, how are you attacking and what is your main target? Will you occupy the place? Do you want to take out the leadership and bring in a leader? How many people support this leader? That is, we must assess so that we don't bring a catastrophe. Like when you say you want to go in and remove Assad of Syria.
Well, I mean, anybody, even an ordinary person watching events in Niger and seeing the tough stance being taken by both parties, everybody's saying dialogue, dialogue. Everybody's asking ECOWAS to bend over backwards. The military, they are insistent that they want it their way. So what options does ECOWAS and other regional bodies have? AU have come out, even though it took them a minute, they've come out and said, you are suspended from being a member of the union. So what options are there for ECOWAS to explore? Mediators are still talking. Do you expect that mediators will do better where ECOWAS seem to be failing?
Yes. I have been in such a situation. And my sister, I want to tell you, I mediated one of the worst wars on planet Earth. The Lord Resistance Army of Northern Uganda. I am the man talking to you. I mediated that war. I went before the men who had killed, displaced over 2 million people, killed over 500,000 people. But I was able to talk It now depends on how we calculate dialogue. What type of dialogue are we talking about? The biggest problem here we have, my sister, is the ECOWAS is not allowing other people to give them ideas. All this organization is in Africa, be it IGAD, be it SADC, be it ECOWAS. They don't allow. When a Secretary General becomes even a president, he thinks he's a president of the whole region, forgetting he works for the president. AU, the same problem. They don't allow ideas. I went in and solved one of the worst wars on planet Earth.
Okay, even Mr. Masanga, I'm sorry to interject, but even if the AU and the ECOWAS and the regional bodies generally don't seem to be receptive, in an ideal situation, let's say in an imaginary El Dorado, what advice would you give to them as a course of action that might, temper the situation a little from what we are seeing at the moment?
First of all, let ECOWAS fight to rescue the president, the one who was overthrown. Let them plead with the military. Let them tell the military, allow him to go, because it is a norm. It has been a norm, my sister. It has been a norm that every government that has been overthrown in that area asks for time. Mali asked for time. Burkina Faso asked for time to prepare. Sudan asked for time to prepare transition. Conakry has asked for time. ECOWAS has been doing it. People have been going to these places to have a visit, but they don't come out with results. So we need now, one, to secure the former president and the safety. Because the more you agitate these soldiers, the more you might have no president to install. And that is the truth. I am sorry, God forbid. These are soldiers that are agitated. They are also seeing what you are doing. Trucks are piling in Benin. Trucks are piling in Nigeria. Trucks are piling in all their borders. Food is not coming in. What will they do? The next thing they will do is to move in and do away. And remember, Niger they have, most of the soldiers in Niger have very bad hearts. If you look at the 4 coups, they have killed they kill their people. They have no mercy. So let's handle fast. Let the president, the bigger power in that region is Nigeria. Let them soften and work out behind the enemy, not the enemy, the lines of the soldiers, and ask them, give us.
Talking about Nigeria, it seems all eyes are on the country's president, but he leads the country, and to some degree, he needs some sort of encouragement, some consent from the National Assembly. This had been rejected at the earlier stage when he asked for military preparedness to go to Niger. What can he do, really? Can he take a unilateral decision if the situation persists? And then he has to go back to his people and listen or, pay attention to what they're saying. They are going to react. The people are going to react. So doesn't that put him in a tight situation, so to speak?
First of all, there's a lot of problem in Nigeria itself, and then you want to solve the other one, the other side. Boko Haram has taken all our girls in the Maiduguri area, the whole of northeastern places, northwestern, everybody is running, Mr. President. How will you take those troops there, and then you leave Nigerians who need salvation? I am also in the bracket of these people. I'm 68 years old. We must talk the truth. How will you go and solve the problem in Niger when there is Boko Haram killing ISIS, killing our people in Nigeria itself? How? And you are now going to expand a territory for these younger men.
Countries in Africa, all countries in Africa have issues. We have internal issues.
Yes.
But ECOWAS is a regional body. And whether he likes it or not, he did not appoint himself leader, chairperson of the ECOWAS. But he got that because it is a rotational presidency. What options will he be able to pursue as a leader?
He can veto the Senate because the Senate has refused. And I agree with the Senate and the House of Parliament representatives. I agree with them. The consequences of intervention in Niger are higher than intervention itself. So you better get out. You first use diplomacy. I agree with the Senate in Nigeria. They were very good. This time, I don't know what came. God came down and they agreed. But intervening at this hour, he is not alone. You see the countries that are opposing. Have you seen divisions coming in ECOWAS? You know what is happening in ECOWAS. Most of them are saying, some of them are saying, no, wait first. Let's try another way. And don't forget the international expansionist theory, the proxy war merchants. The proxy war merchants, America, United States of America, France, the Gulf states, Russia. These are international proxy war merchants. They are already in the area. And if you are going to go in and divided like ECOWAS is not ready, all parliaments, why is it that all parliaments in ECOWAS area, some of them are chickening out? Why? So we must find a solution through negotiation, through dialogue, more and wider dialogue. Go in again.
Okay, so it's a tricky scenario, really. I'm talking about this situation gives everybody a headache. The co-leader said there will be transition in 3 years, but he did not give any detail to the plan. He is saying that the principles for the transition will be decided upon in 30 days at a dialogue that they will be hosting. So one wonders, really, this is not new. And they have said 3 years. Is it wrong to think at this point that military rule might continue in Niger for a lengthy period of time before anything can be done if ECOWAS succumbs to pressure not to engage in military attempts to restore constitutional order?
My sister, north of Niger, there is Libya. And look at Libya. It is divided into two parts. The same countries that divided Libya into two parts are France and the United States of America. They support General Khalifa Haftar, who has taken Benghazi and the government in Tripoli. So be careful. There could be a faction from Libya that could arrive in Niger that has been waiting to arrive. So anybody who is planning an attack, and I've told you, it must be a Rambo. You know, you have watched the film of Rambo. I'm talking from a military point of view because I know what war is. You must be a Rambo style that you take out the leader and install the other one. The problem is more complex. The same countries that divided Libya are the same ones urging President Tinubu that he push for a military intervention. No African wants an intervention that will create another Libya in that area where there is Burkina Faso and Mali have already gone.
Quickly, I'm told we have very little time left. What should we be expecting to see in the coming days from ECOWAS?
Going back, ECOWAS should send my friend General, and I want you to take this opportunity, General Dar Salam. You know me very well. We have been together in the trenches. Thank you very much. Go back, Your Excellency, and persuade the younger men that please, time has come. and get the safety of this president. 2, put pressure, diplomatic pressure. Talk to the generals, because it is a norm that AU gives a transition after the military has taken over. Even if they suspend you, they give you a transition and come back. Let the African Peace and Security Committee liaise with ECOWAS to start pushing and propelling the leadership of transition. Perhaps the only other thing that can happen is another counter coup. Yes, and let's talk the truth. Another counter coup.
Let's hope that will not. Let's hope that will not happen. Let's hope that the mediation. Mr. Masanga, let's be a bit optimistic and hope that the mediations.
I am speaking in my mind. Optimistic over what? Another counter coup could come like the one of Burkina Faso. You saw another captain coming to take away the other captain. If that one can happen, and I know planners in Nigeria, military intelligence in Nigeria, they know what they are planning, they could plan. If that is the only way to save that country now. If another one comes that supports the president,
there's always the danger. There's always the danger that what you think is the solution might end up being more of a problem. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that the mediation brings something fruitful for all parties concerned with the situation in Niger Republic. Thank you very much, Mr. David Masanga, for always responding to our call to speak on the program.
Thank you very much. But you asked for solutions, Madam. I told you another solution, and don't remove it on the table. Another counter coup on the soldiers there. We might save a situation. Yes.
Thank you once again.
That's what Africa should do if you want. Otherwise, we shall go on. These men will stay there for 3 years, and the Russians will arrive on the ground.
We are in dire strait, no doubt, but somehow we will find a way. Africa has survived for such a long time. So I hold a lot of optimism, as naive as it may seem, that we will find a way and continue to grow as a people. Thank you very much again for giving us your time, and thank you for watching. I'll see you another time.